I will turn my microphone on. There you go. Give me one moment to pull up the right. I don't have the internet on.
There you go.
All right, we're calling to order at 6 a.m. I guess we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody please stand and face the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Sure. Chairman Williams,
Present.
Commissioner Bruce,
Present.
Commissioner Thorne.
Present.
Mr. Chair, you have quorum.
Thank you, Your Honor, or thank you. I'm the Your Honor this time. We have the members of the board had a chance to review the minutes of our last meeting on January 10th, 2024.
Yes.
Okay, does anybody have any corrections or additions or other issues about the minutes? No. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from January 10th, 2024?
I'd like to make a motion to approve minutes. Second.
Is there any further discussion?
No.
All in favor of approving the minutes from January 10th, 24, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So that carries. Thank you. And we'll proceed with our public hearing at this time. There are going to be some complications which we will address when the parties begin. But Madam Clerk, will you please review the public hearing procedures?
Town of Plato public hearings are conducted in the following manner. A sign-in sheet is provided at the entry of the council chambers for any public hearing attendees to register to speak if they have not already done so in advance. Registration to speak will end when the public hearing is opened. The presiding officer will call registered speakers to the podium. Speakers who have registered to speak in advance via the town webpage will be recognized prior to speakers who register upon arrival at the public hearing. At the discretion of the presiding officer, speakers' comments may be limited to 3 minutes and may not be yielded. Written documents for the record submitted in advance of the public hearing are provided to the presiding officer prior to the opening of the public hearing.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And we will officially call this meeting to order at 6:03 p.m. Madam Clerk, would you please review the public notices for the application for today's hearing?
Mr. Chair, the public hearing has been advertised as required by town code. For the record, this public hearing was advertised in the Southern Maryland newspaper on October 25th, 2024 issue, as reflected on the certificate of publication attached to the meeting agenda. As indicated in the clerk's affidavit, letters were sent to owners of properties contiguous to and opposite the property by certified mail, and signs were posted visible from Rosewick Road and La Plata Parkway, the adjoining public rights-of-way. Notice of this public hearing was also advertised on the town webpage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And I will now turn to our acting Director of Planning. Would you mind introducing yourself for the record?
Sorry, could you turn your mic on?
You just have to lightly tap it.
There we go. Got it. Hi, I'm Celia Craze. For a bit of background, I have 37 years in as a planning director with the city of Laurel, then the Anne Arundel County Office of Planning and Zoning, and for the past 31 years with the city of Greenbelt. I've been retired for 7 years, during which time I took care of my elderly mother. And I've been brought in, I've been here about 3 weeks on an interim basis to handle the planning issues that come to the town.
Very good. And it's my understanding you did not prepare the staff report, which is part of the packet for this case, which we have received.
That is correct.
And it's my understanding that you found error in the planning commission's report.
I
as
found
presented.
Inconsistencies that the omissions of certain critical information that relates to required yard requirements for the dwelling units.
Okay, what was that issue?
The required side yard for a single family dwelling in this zone is 8 feet. I actually discovered this in reading the applicant's statement of justification, which showed that the actual side yard setback was 5 feet, which was not per code. And because the staff report was silent on the matter and the statement of justification was included a statement that was perceived as indicating an error, this item was flagged. Today, during a meeting with the applicant, they provided information which was the third addendum to the master site plan, which was approved by the council, indicating that site front and rear yard setbacks were not required. We felt that this was critical information, particularly since both the staff report and the statement of justification were either unclear or incorrect as far as that item was concerned. So we would like an opportunity so that the record is correct to correct both items and then bring them back to the board for action.
Okay, and is this the memorandum that the board has received recommended approval of the special exception based on the information that was in that report? Is the position of the planning department, does the information that you have just provided change the position of the planning department as per this
No.
application? Okay. I'm not going to, I'm not moving on completely from your section of the hearing, but I would like to call forth the applicant to hear your position on this issue.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chair, board members. Steve Scott, I'm the land use attorney for the applicant.
Mr. Scott, well, no, he's the attorney, so we don't have to swear to him. It's fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Thank you.
So as the acting planning director indicated, we had a meeting with the acting planning director and some of the town staff this afternoon, and we spoke about the question that arose as it relates to the planning staff report versus the master site development plan. So this Pine Grove, formerly known as Heritage Green, is governed by a master site development plan that was most recently revised in spring of 2021, and it has certain design elements in it that were established pursuant to the zoning ordinance and the design requirements of the zoning ordinance as they relate to the TDX zone. We agreed that it was important for the integrity of these proceedings that the inconsistency between the staff report and the application and the master site development plan be corrected, and therefore these proceedings be continued until that correction is made and we were able to bring a consistent package back to this board and a consistent package for the public to view if any interested parties wanted to look at it.
And so, it's my understanding, the main issue here is, well, it's table 20 in the statute, which is, apologize. Well, it's in our section of the, it's a 191-52 special exceptions. When we go into the section on senior communities, it requires certain minimum setbacks for detached families, single family homes. Is that correct?
That is correct, and there's also a provision that says that the Board of Appeals can waive as well if you dig deeper into the ordinance.
Yes.
Also, the TDX zone provisions in the zoning ordinance have a number of very detailed design requirements in them. One of those referring to sort of a vague term, but a term that may be a term of art, and that is that the TDX zone should be used as projects that implement superior design. And one of the overreaching, if I could go back to when this master site development plan was approved a few years ago, one of the overreaching premises of this particular project is to shrink the development footprint and thereby increasing the size of the green space, the open space, the amenities, the wooded areas. And I think that's sort of the origins of why the master site development plan eliminated those setback requirements. And of course, we're prepared to provide testimony on that at the public hearing on this issue.
And what does the applicant want tonight?
We'd like to continue this proceeding to a date acceptable to the board. We think for the integrity of these proceedings, we think it's important to have a complete and consistent record.
Thank you, Mr. Scott.
Thank you.
So at this time, I'm going to move briefly for a closed session. For the record, that's pursuant to State Government Article 3-305B7, the purpose of which is to consult with town council about we need to get some legal advice from town council about how to proceed with this, with the request for continuance and the underlying issue resulting in that. So can I have a second to my motion for a closed session? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we're going to go, the board's going to go off the record into the back room with council to discuss, and we will be back shortly. Thank you. I got grilled by a public defender for one of them. Was like, why are you all over the body cam for my client? I was like, because that's my yard. Okay, Madam Clerk, are we back on?
Mr. Chair, can you hear me?
I can.
Mr. Gullo, can you hear me?
I can.
Mr. Chair, recording has begun.
Thank you. For anyone who is watching online, we have resumed our open session. We did have a closed session there for a few minutes, and then the power went out at Town Hall. And so we lost internet connection, but we are now back. The question then before the board is what to do with regard to the case that is set for hearing in front of us today. The council met with the town council in closed session to discuss our the legal framework for the current situation, and the parties have asked for a continuance of this hearing before any testimony is taken to clarify the record and make sure that the town staff report accurately addresses the application. This may or may not involve the application changing, but that is up to the applicants. The main issue here is making sure that the town report is accurate and covers everything that needs to be covered so that the board has accurate information on which to base our decision. We do have the authority to grant the continuance request. At this point, I would recommend doing that and moving on and just setting a new date for the hearing to come back and re-advertising the hearing and going through all of those procedures to make sure the public is informed of it so that we have an accurate record to base our decision on. Is there any discussion from other members of the board?
Just one quick question. About how long will it take for you to get whatever information the director would need?
I
I'm
just spoke.
sorry, I'm sorry, ma'am. I was asking
Oh.
the gentleman.
Is there, just to sort of double up on that question, is there more information that the planning department needs from the applicant?
No, it's just clarification.
Okay. And how, if it is, how are the channels of communication between the applicant?
Those channels are good, Mr. Chair. There will be a slight clarification to the application as well. But in talking to the acting planning director, we were hoping we could get back on your docket for maybe sometime in December.
Okay. We do have an issue where it would have to be before December 13th.
Oh, okay.
And if it's not, it would have to be in early January.
We can accommodate with our change so long as that gives staff enough time to advertise, and we'll have to post a new sign as well.
Any other discussion? Okay. Can I have, well, I guess I will then move to grant the applicant and the town's request to postpone this hearing in order to correct the town report and for the applicant to clarify the application to a date to be set either prior to December 13th, if feasible, otherwise after the new year. Can I have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
That is something.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So that is unanimous, and we will postpone this matter until a future date to be determined. And I think that will end. We have no other matters. That will end this meeting at 6:34 p.m.